Hello everybody, this is RC Central here, and today we're going to be looking at Lipo batteries. I'm not going to be looking at NIMH batteries, although I will mention them. This is a Lipo battery kind of tips video and it all, and I'm going to be going over the basics of them and why they're better, or what their advantages are over NIMH batteries. So over here we have a Lipo safe battery bag. I already have a video on these, and I'm just going to sum it up in here. This is to keep your battery safe, storage, charging, things like that. But I really do suggest that you go and you see my other video on these just to really see why they are important, because most people shrug these off, think it's not important, when really it's kind of a danger not to have one of these, especially if you have more than one Lipo battery like I do. So, what's a Lipo battery? Well, this is a Lipo battery. It's different from an NIMH battery. It has a different cell structure and it has a different chemistry, and they are often much more powerful than NIMH and last a lot longer. This is a particularly small battery, and I use it for my headset. This is a 2S battery. That is also a 2S battery. This one is bigger because it has more storage, let's say, milliamps. The higher the milliamps, or in this case, amps, the higher energy you can store in it, which means longer run times and more amps that you can draw from it. This big old battery in the back is a 3S battery. It has a higher voltage because it has 3 cells instead of just 2 like the smaller ones, and it has the same storage rating as the 2S battery, although this does say 5.0, that's 5 amps. This is 5,000 milliamps. Amps and milliamps are not the same. Milliamps is 1,000 amps, kind of how the metric system works. So this is the same as 5 amps, you just divide it by 1,000 to get how many amps this is. Most battery manufacturers put it in milliamps just because it has a bigger number. 5,000 versus 5 just seems a little bit more impressive, even though they are the same number. Now, Lipo batteries, you do have to charge them with a specific charger. This is a universal charger. It can charge almost any battery. I also have a review on this on the channel if you want to go look at this. This was only $25, and I highly recommend getting something that is universal like this. Now, you cannot charge a Lipo battery without a Lipo battery charger or universal charger. If you do attempt to charge a Lipo battery with an NIMH battery charger, you can have drastic consequences with your battery being dead or even on fire, and most people get scared by the fire part, but really if you treat your battery nice and good and just take care of it and charge it right and store it right and everything else, then really it's simple and it's easy and nothing's going to go wrong. You're going to have a happy battery that's going to have a very long life. If you punish the battery, charge it with an NIMH charger, no storage bags, drop it a lot, then yes, you're going to have a lot of problems. But really this is more of a professional battery, and if you are a beginner and you're watching this video, I really do suggest that you just try out an NIMH battery, because they're much more simple. Charge, play, done, dead, don't have to worry about it. Lipo batteries, after you are done running them in your RC car, you do have to charge them back up to storage or all the way if you're going to use them again. And you can't just leave them there. They will drop because of the chemistry until they hit 0 voltages, 0 volts, and then they will become damaged and possibly catch fire. I've never had a Lipo battery accident because I take care of them. I have voltage meters to test their voltage and tell me when they're about to die. I have chargers that are specifically made for them. And I have fire bags in case anything ever happens, and just to give them a nice storage place that's safe. Lipo batteries are a little bit different than NIMH. They do have normal plugs in them, like this. I think this is XT60. And over here we have banana plug, although they do have an extra plug called the voltage plug or the balance plug, and that plug goes into the side of chargers and into voltage meters, and it just tells the charger and voltage meter how many volts is left in each cell, so it knows when to shut it down. Now, this whole entire shut it down thing that you've been hearing, don't just charge them all the way, shut them down, don't run them all the way until they're dead, is true. You don't want to do that. Lipo batteries are not meant to be discharged all the way. That's when things that are bad start happening. And most RC cars, planes, chargers, if you don't get a voltage meter, these are cheap, $5, shuts it off or tells you before it is about to die, and then everything is good, and then you just go charge it up. Storage charge. Storage is halfway. Most chargers have a setting for that. Or full charge if you're going to use it again. You don't want to leave it dead or at full charge over a period of, 2 days. It starts to damage the battery. If you're going to storage charge it, I recommend doing that. Even if you're going to leave it for a day, storage charge it. Especially if you're going to be leaving it for a few months, storage charge it. It's for storage. When I don't use these, I don't have them out like this. I usually put them inside the bag. Altogether, they all fit in here. This one is a soft pack. It has a little layer of plastic, film kind of, on top of the actual cell. Actually, if I bring this closer, you might be able to see bumps where the cells are on the inside. There's 2 of them. Whereas these are hard packs. This is very hard plastic. I can grip it, squeeze it, nothing's going to happen. That protects the battery a bit more. I use these ones in cars and planes and such. I do not recommend using a soft pack in a car. Rocks can get stuck between this and the car chassis, scratch through, puncture it, and then bad things happen when you puncture these batteries. Very bad things. So I usually use this for a headset. I have an FPV set, and since it's on the side of my head and it has Velcro so it doesn't drop down and it's plugged in, I don't usually worry about hitting or anything, and I just take good care of it. These ones are the punished ones that go in my cars and get wrecked up and stuff and get scratches and dirt all over them because they're hard packs. They're nice and handy. They're very hard to break. Waterproof Lipo batteries. None of these are waterproof, and if you're going to be running a waterproof rig, I highly recommend that you either waterproof the batteries yourself, wrap them in a balloon or something, or really go out, spend the extra money to buy a waterproof Lipo battery, because even though you think, oh, it's just a battery inside of there, there might also be little circuit boards inside of there to keep the battery nice and stable, and you don't know what's on the inside. And I'm going to say this right now, please never take apart Lipo batteries. It's extremely dangerous. You don't want to puncture anything. Even if you are curious on what's inside and want to check, don't do that. Look up YouTube videos on other people who have done it. Just don't take apart your Lipo batteries. I never ever recommend it. But you don't know what's on the inside, so if you're going to get a waterproof battery that you're going to be using in a waterproof car, then really spend the extra money, get one that is waterproof right off the bat. You don't have to deal with it, and you know that you're safe and sure, and you have a warranty or something like that to back you up if anything ever happens. These batteries can take splashes, but I really highly do not recommend it, because you can short them out, and these get very reactive when you short them out. They are Lipo batteries. And really, I'm just saying, be safe. I'm trying not to scare the beginners in this hobby, but just take care of your Lipo batteries, really. Voltage meters, the right charger, and some storage bags. And I mean, you've got a happy battery that's going to last a few years and give you plenty of fun runtime. And really, now you're wondering, well, why would I even get this in the first place? It sounds like a bit more of a hassle than an NIMH, and although it is a bit more of a hassle, the reason that people get these is because they are much more powerful, they have higher voltages, they are usually lighter, they don't get as hot, and their voltage doesn't drop drastically throughout the runtime. NIMH, maybe it's a 12 volt battery at the beginning. At the end of it, it's going to be down to 1 volt, 0 volt, and your car's going to be crawling slowly across the driveway or floor. And these batteries don't do that. The voltage drops a very small amount while they're running, and it gives you a much more powerful run. They have higher voltages, and throughout the runtime, your car is still going to be zipping around after 20 minutes when the battery is about to die, until the battery gets cut off and shut down by the ESC or voltage meter or alarm system, or by you if you pay attention to your voltages. And really, that's all there is to know about these batteries. There are, again, fancy numbers on them. You might hear of C ratings. if you're going to be getting certain ESCs, modding your car and stuff, you have to worry about those. If you're a beginner and you're going to get a battery that's meant for a car and never mod it, you don't have to worry about that. Really, you take the C rating and you times it by the amp rating, and that tells you how many amps you can draw from the battery to give to the ESC and motor. But if you don't care about that and you're not modding, you don't need to know about that. You can fit any plug onto a Lipo battery. I personally use these two plugs because I believe they are the stronger variant that are still moderately cheap. And if you don't know how to solder, please don't try and do this for the first time. Practice on something other than a Lipo battery when you're soldering. But if you're experienced and you're okay with putting plugs on things, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to stop you. But just be careful with these, everyone. I don't want anyone going home and buying a Lipo battery, taking it apart, stabbing it with a hammer or anything stupid like that, and getting hurt because they thought that, oh, they're perfectly safe. You just need to take care of them, be good to them. They're batteries after all. And really, if you treat them good, you get really good run times and really fast cars, which is of course why people get these batteries. Anyways, this has been RC Central. Thank you for watching my video, and goodbye.